We're joined by Shantanu Prakash, your founder and managing director of Educomp Solutions, an Indian company. You've been talking here at the INSEAD Leadership Summit in the Middle East about how companies can reconcile business performance with doing social good. Your company is a very interesting education company. Could you give us a brief idea as to what the company does?
One part of our work focuses on helping improve the efficiency of the existing education system, which is helping students learn better, helping teachers become more productive, and so on. And the other part is actually about delivering core education services ourselves. So we run preschools, we run high schools, we run vocational training centers, as well as higher professional education. We are probably the largest producers and owners of educational content in the world. So we have about 400 people who essentially build highly interactive three-dimensional content. About approximately 10,000 employees. We operate out of about 50 different locations in India and a few locations outside India as well. In terms of how we impact the lives of students and teachers, the product that made Educomp well known in India is a product called Smart Class, which is a very large library of educational content that we put in the hands of the teacher in the classroom. So while the teacher is teaching, the teacher can show the students highly animated content and help the students learn better, create a multisensory learning environment in the classroom, and essentially improve curriculum and outcomes. And this has become extremely popular, helps improve student performance between 20 and 25%. Currently about approximately 10 million students in private school as well as public schools use this product on a daily basis.
And this is being used right across India, tens of thousands of schools?
Yes, absolutely. This is being used currently by almost 18,000 schools across the country. So very popular, growing very rapidly, yet we have only touched the surface of the demand in India. India has over 1 million schools currently, and that is only for students who go to school. There are about 140 million students who should be in school but are currently not in school in India. Amongst the students who go to school, we currently cover about 4% of the population. So as you can clearly see, there is a very long way for us to go to reach optimum market coverage. Apart from Smart Class, which is one of the dominant part of our company's business, we are also the largest teacher training or professional development company in India, and we do that at fairly large scale. Last year we trained about 400,000 teachers on pedagogical systems and methodologies, helping make them more productive inside the classroom, because many of these teachers have had no formal teacher certification. Apart from this, when you come to our business of delivering core education services, we currently operate about 700 preschools, and these are for students in the age group of 3 to 5. And we operate 36 high schools currently, and beyond high schools, we have 2 joint ventures. One in the area of high-end professional education is with a company called Raffles in Singapore, where we run various long-term programs that eventually leads to a degree. And then for the blue collar worker, we have a joint venture with a company called Pearson, where we provide various kinds of short-term skill-oriented courses. For example, courses on accounting, courses on English language training, courses on automotive, on sales, retail, insurance, and so on. So that's broadly what the company looks like. We have taken some of our core competencies, for instance, in content development, and expanded our reach outside of India. So today we deliver our educational content in the United States of America, in Singapore, in Indonesia, in Philippines, and in Malaysia.
And you're also thinking of China as a possible market.
And we are also thinking of China, which is another huge market like India.
And at the moment it's mainly in English, your content, or have you, presumably you're doing it in local
Well, yes, one of our key strengths is the fact that we have very successfully localized our curriculum. So we are currently available in English as well as another 10 Indian languages.
Your company came into existence in the mid-90s. What was the basic idea behind it? So did you essentially saw a gap in the market?
Well, I think the big idea for Educomp was that there is a lot of pain in the existing education system. So students are frustrated because they are not learning well enough in this highly competitive world. Parents are frustrated because they want a return on investment in the investment that they're making for their students. Teachers are frustrated because classroom sizes are increasing and teachers are not getting well paid. Essentially, I think the system is dysfunctional. And so when we looked at the system, we saw opportunity and we said there is a better way of doing things, and we decided to use technology as an enabler, as a method by which we could improve the existing system. And that's how some of our innovation in the area of multimedia education and even distance learning came about.
But even in India, you've got this divide, between the rural areas and the cities. So wasn't that somewhat off-putting from the start?
Well, it depends on how you want to look at it. There are many kinds of divides. There is a digital divide, there is an income divide, but most importantly, there is a learning divide. Children who are in big cities have access to better schools, have access to better facilities, where in smaller towns and cities, even if you want to pay for it, you don't really have access to those facilities. So we thought that the only way to create a level playing field is to use technology. And when we put our educational content in a school in a small town or city, those students have access to the same high level of instructional content and delivery as a student in a big metropolitan city like New Delhi or Mumbai.
So do you see yourself primarily as a social entrepreneur?
Well, I would not use that term. I run a company that is publicly listed. The company enjoys a fairly good price earnings multiple. We are a highly profitable company. Our return on capital employed is excess of 35%. We have a 50% EBITDA margin. The way I would like to characterize what we do at Educomp is saying we are not driven by profits, we are sustained by profits. We certainly need to make money as a company, but we want to reinvest that money back in creating better products, in bridging some of the social divide that exists today. And if we were not making enough profits, we would not be able to do a lot of what we have managed to accomplish today.
But you haven't maximized those profits, have you? You basically have tried to keep the prices down. That in the session we heard that you're only charging a few dollars for this, whereas you could be charging, 5 times more?
Well, I like to think of it that we are still taking a good business decision when we decide to crash the price of access. Because when you bring the pricing down, you go to this inflection point which is bordering on mass consumption. I think the real decision that we take in our minds is, can we make this product in such a manner that every student in India should be able to consume it? And when you multiply the large numbers, even with a smaller price point, you still end up making more money. So I think we are serving both our stakeholders. We are serving our investors and shareholders as well as serving the consumer.
So you're serving the bottom of the pyramid, but also then creating a company that's got a huge market cap of something like $1.5 billion.
Yes, and I fundamentally believe that businesses of the future that operate in some of these socially good areas like education or health or clean technology will have to take an important decision about how they price their products, how they deliver it, so that they can meet the aspirations of their consumers. And in meeting the aspirations of their consumers on price points and on quality and other parameters, they simultaneously meet the expectations of their shareholders and investors.
So what advice would you have for other entrepreneurs? Would you say that they should look at these pain points, as you call them?
Absolutely. And if you look around in the world, I think there is no dearth of potential billion-dollar ideas and opportunities. largely in the area of large societal pain points. I'm an entrepreneur in the education area, and I can tell you that in education, I could easily point maybe 8 or 10 big ideas that somebody has to deliver on. And these are in classroom transformation, these are in e-learning, these are in vocational education, in higher education, in one-on-one learning. The potential is essentially limitless. Since the world entered into being a knowledge economy, and since intellectual capital became more important than financial capital, I think from that moment onwards, it gave a new tool in the hands of entrepreneurs to be able to transform society. And my thesis is that you can transform society for the better and still make money. This is not an either or situation.
And you've certainly proved it.
Yes.
Shantanu, thanks a lot for joining us.
Thank you very much.